Hey kids, welcome to another homework lesson. This is for 5th grade, Module 1, Lesson 9, where our objective is to add decimals using place value strategies and relate those strategies to a written method. So please go watch the problem set video if you have not already. It has some great information about the bundling and regrouping that we do when we start adding on columns to the right, and we have to do it in the order from right to left because since we have a base 10 system, as we regroup our tens and make that next place value position one of the higher value, we wouldn't, if we worked from left to right, we would end up with potentially double digits in the right, and we can't do that. So always start on the right and work your way left. And today in this lesson, we're going to focus on looking at this unit form with the digit and the name of the place value position. So you got to really look and read carefully. Also, watch out for the equal signs, okay? Those might throw us off because look, we've got one here and we've got one here. So you're going to have multiple equals all the way across. Caution. Let's get started. If I have 3/10 plus 4/10, notice that we have same place value position and we have a 3 plus 4. They're giving us the word form, unit form answer here. So it's just the 3 plus 4 for 7. Easy peasy. So watch out for the equal signs because they're asking you to kind of look at the total number that would be regrouped of this answer. So 12 plus 9. If you have a 12 plus 9, also think about the strategy for adding. It's in the younger grades, they teach it this way. Try to make groups of 10, and then you can go up 1 for 11 or down 1 for 9. So starting with the 12 plus 10 would be 22, but minus 1 would be 21. So the total number that you're combining, 12 plus 9, is 21. Now that we have our 21 tenths, because tenths plus tenths equal tenths, they want you to take this apart and say, okay, if this was 21 tenths, what would it look like in standard form? Well, it would look like this. This is the tenths place, and this is the ones place. And so here, they're having you separate these out by place value. So it's actually 2 ones and 1/10 for a value of 21 tenths. Okay? I hope that's helpful. Again, go watch that problem set video if you're not sure what I'm doing here. Because you really should. This is supposed to be your independent practice, and you guys should be trying to do these before I solve them. So you can always pause me, try to add it up, see if you get the right number on pause and check. 3/100 plus 4/100. Our answer should be hundredths, hundredths, hundredths. 3 plus 4, 7. Not really stretching your abilities right there because we already did that. For 27/100 plus 7/100, again, we have how many equal signs? We've got our numbers here, place value here, and so it's just 27 plus 7. 34 is the sum, and then you have to take the 34/100 apart into different place value positions. So if it's 34/100 and it looks like this, how many tenths is there? That's going to be 3, and then 4/100. So if it helps you, you can write the standard form answer off here to the side. In the problem set, I think you get to do that a couple times, but in the homework, they kind of take that out. 4/1000 plus 3/1000, and again, we've got the 4 plus 3, not a real stretch for your abilities, and thousands, thousands, thousandths. Watch out for those. Put your 7. 39 plus 5, and we have thousandths that are combined. They're not going to always give you the same. Here we have tenths and thousandths, so watch out for the word form. But 39 plus 5, watch for the equals. What are we trying to do? We're adding up the 39 and 5. And now we're going to separate the 44 thousandths into how many hundredths and how many thousandths. Just noting that each digit has its own place value position. 44 thousandths looks like this, but fortunately it's the same digit in both of those columns, the hundredths and the thousandths, so that one's not too hard. Now when you go on to G, we've got 5/10 plus 7/1000. So now we've got different place value positions. And so if we're trying to figure out how many thousandths that is, it's really helpful if you take a second to identify which column you're dealing with. So if I have 5/10, I have 5/10 here. And if I have 7/1000, that's no tenths, no hundredths, but 7/1000. So you're really combining 3 different place value positions into one answer. Well, and 4 if you count the ones place with your 0, okay? But when you have only a single digit plus a single digit in different place value positions, you don't have any carrying over. So everything just falls down, and you end up with the total of 507 thousandths. Now, I highly recommend writing it off to the side so until you get used to it, and then you'll know after a while, this goes in this place value position, and this goes into this place value position. You do not have to put a decimal here because that's redundant. This is standard form, so it needs a decimal. This is unit form, and this with this label equals the same thing that this is, okay? So the next one, 4 ones, 4/10, and this is a single value number plus 4/10, okay? So we've got 4 ones, 4/10, 4 ones, 4/10, plus 4/10. When you line them up by place value position, this is when you see, okay, well, I'm adding these two in the same column. So you have to identify by place value position which ones you're adding. If you're going to try to add all the way across, it might throw you off. Some kids might say, ooh, 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 4 is 12, and then they'll just put, you know, the wrong things in the wrong place. But 4 plus 4 in the tenths would be 8/10, decimal down, and then the 4 ones is here. So there isn't any 12 in this answer. So be very careful and don't just add the digits as you go across. Watch out for the place values because that really makes a big difference. So the total for this one would be how many tenths, and it's going to be 48 because when you rename it, then this is the standard form. If they had separated out here, it'd be 4 ones, 8/10, but they just want to know tenths all together. And this reminds me of like putting the squeeze on. They just want to know all of the tenths together. Here's the last one. So if I have 8/1000, that is here. Plus 6 ones, 8/1000. They're changing the order of the value of the numbers. 6 is greater. And this is a single number that we're trying to add. So 6 ones, 8/1000 would look like this. You have to fill these places with the zeros so that you'll connect back to the decimal. So I highly recommend doing this. I'm going to even write it in the directions. Write in standard form before solving. Okay, so it's really important when you get quizzed on this or on a test, the strategy for solving these is to write it in standard form before solving. If you do that, you're totally going to help yourself. So if you have your 6 and 8/1000 plus 8/1000, 8 plus 8 is 16, and you have to regroup. This is going to be the 1 in the hundredths place, 0/10, and the 6 comes down because there is no other number with a 1's place value position in our add-ins. Okay, so the final answer down to the thousandths place, all of them regrouped, is 6016 because it's 6,016 thousandths. Here's the standard form, here's the unit form. Okay, so unit form, never anybody's favorite, but there it is, and we have to do it in Eureka Math. Now on to the bottom where they want you to use the standard algorithm. Love the standard algorithm. Everybody loves the standard algorithm. It's so easy. Everybody's been doing it since first grade. But now we have decimals. So a couple lessons ago, I had said, hey, the strategy for adding decimals is to line up the decimals. Do that now. Just put a couple of decimals in each one. You have to show your work anyway, so just do it now. It's like a colon, okay? Now we're going to put our addition line, and we're going to fill in the blanks. 0.4 plus 0.7. Works fine here. 7 plus 4. Carry, it's 11, and then you carry over your 1 to the next place value position, but don't forget to bring your decimal down. Again, sing Beethoven, decimal down, and then put your answer up. Next one, we've got a 2.04. 2.04. Notice how the lining up the decimal can help you here. 0.07. The 7 shouldn't be under the 2. The 7 should be over here under the 4 in the hundredths place. Line them up by place value position. No new addition here. If you know that 7 plus 4 is 11, use what you know. Carry over the 1, and we get that 1 that comes down. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 and 11 hundredths. 6.4, 3.7. 7 and 4 again. I wonder what that is. And then 6. 7, 8, 9, or 6 and 3 is 9, or you can go 6 and 1 is 7 plus 3 is 10. Doesn't matter what order, you can add numbers in any order, and you get the same answer. That's the commutative property. You can move the numbers all over the place and get the same answer. This one's a real test of how well you understand the lining up. If you didn't put your decimals before, we have 56.04 and then a 3.07. So some kids will say, well, I don't know, should I put the 3 here, or should I put the 3 here, or 3, what do I do? Place value, 3 ones, 0, 7. Again, 7 and 4 for 11, 1 goes up, 1 comes down, decimal down, 6 and 3 is 9, and the 5 comes down. That's a terrible 9. There we go. Okay, so use this strategy of placing decimals ready to go to help you line up. Let's do the last ones. These are a little bit more challenging. Some teachers will say, oh, you don't have to do the back side because it's all a lot of work. No. Prepare yourself for state testing by doing these, because this is all over the state test. Challenging problems for sure. Strategy, line up the decimals. Now fill in the blanks. 72 ones, then 564 thousandths. How many ones here? 5. It must go in the ones place. 1, 3, 7. Add them up. 7 and 4. I wonder what that is. Same thing as before. 6 and 3. I wonder what that is. Oh gosh, it's all over the previous page. 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry. Don't forget. And don't try to hold it in your head. I know a lot of kids will say, I'm so smart, I can just remember it all. And I'm like, well, good for you. But it's just a matter of time till you forget to add something in that carried over position. So just write it. It's a tiny little mark. It won't harm you. 5 and 1 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Or just go 5, 6, 7. Decimal down. 5 and 2 is 7, and lots of 7s. Okay, next one. Again, place your decimals, line them up, put your little plus sign, fill in the blanks. 75, sorry, that's kind of puffing up there. 75, 604, 22, 296. Place value, and keep your writing neat. Oh my goodness, if I could show you all the things where kids are trying to add in columns like this. No, don't do that. 6 and 4. 10, carry the 1. 9 and 1, 10, carry the 1. 6, 7, 8, 9. Decimal down. 5 and 2, 7. 7 and 2, 9. 97 and 900 thousandths. Some kids will say, can I just put 97.9? And I'll say, yes, you can. That is equivalent because every digit is in the same place, and these all have the value. The 0 has literally nothing, no value. So if you have no value here and no value here, that's the same as it was. All right, word problems, don't be afraid. Walkway over the Hudson, a bridge that crosses the Hudson River in Poughkeepsie, is 2 and 63 thousandths kilometers long. And Ping Bridge, which was built in China 850 years ago, is 2 and 700ths kilometers long. What is the total span of both bridges? Show your thinking. That means show your work. Take this bridge and this one. Watch out and use the strategy I showed you. 2.07, 2.07. Do not slam the 7 over into the 3. How many kids just did that? Just erase it and fix it. It is line up by the decimals. If you made the mistake, learn from your mistake. Do not slam everything up over here because that's what you're used to doing. This is about place value. It always has been about place value, but you weren't using decimals, and now you're using decimals in 5th grade. So 3 plus 0, 6 and 7, and then that 1 falls down, decimal down, 2 plus 2 is 4. And always, when it's a word problem, you should have words in your answer. Don't just stop here, but label it. What is the label? What are we finding? We're finding the total span of both bridges. So just say real quick, both bridges are 4.133 kilometers together. Okay, give it a circle and then move on. All right, Leah likes to walk her dog on the walkway over the Hudson. If she walks across and back, that's important, how far will she and her dog walk? So if the length of the walkway over the Hudson back up here in problem A says it's 2 63/1000 kilometers, but she goes across and back, then we have to double that. Now, since we're not really into multiplying yet, we're going to actually rewrite it 2 times so that we can have our over and back. Simple addition, 3 plus 3, 6 plus 6, carry, drop. Decimal down, and the 4. Label, kilometers, and Leah will walk. And see how I just kind of stuck that right on there so I don't have to rewrite it because sometimes I get lazy? Yes, I do. You can circle your final answer. Okay, oh, click subscribe. Come back again. I hope these are helpful. I really do. Let's do the last one. For his parents' anniversary, Danny spends $5.87 on a photo. Very sweet. He also buys a balloon for $2.49 and a box of strawberries for $4.50. How much money does he spend altogether? All right, simple. What do you think you need to do? I always ask kids, how should we solve this? Yes, we're going to add them all together. It's all the items, and so you can have 3 add-ins, and you can stack them up by lining up the decimals. A lot of kids will say, can I just add 2 and then add the 3rd in a separate problem? Yes, you can do that too. I'm kind of used to doing several add-ins, so this might be new for you, so I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. 2 and 49 and 450. Okay, so when you have 3 or multiple add-ins, you'll still only take 2 at a time, but it allows you to kind of regroup and then carry over. So 9 plus 7 is 16, so there's nothing down here, so the 6 goes down and the 1 goes up. Try to make 10s. If I know that 4 and 1 makes 10, and I go 5 plus 5 makes 10, it makes adding the 8 really easy because 10 plus 8 is 18. Carry the 1. Decimal down, turn the lights on, bing, it's like magic. And decimal down, and then we're going to start up again, and I have 5 and 4, I know is 9, plus 1 is 10, there's my 10, plus 2 is 12. Here's your final answer, but it's not just a decimal, it's money, and if you don't put the dollar sign there, for US dollars, it could be British pounds, it could be francs, it could be some other form of money or some distance or something else. If it's just a decimal and it's not labeled with a dollar sign, that's not right. You have to add the money together so that we get a money answer. Don't forget to put his name and write the final amount. So Danny spends $12.86 on his parents, or for his parents. There you go. And I hope this was helpful. Now that the AC just turned off, it was so loud. It's like a monster in the background. Anyway, I hope this is helpful, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video, or I look forward to helping you on the next video. Bye for now.